like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who could bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GTV Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have yourself to blame, y'all. Ticket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you get your mouth off LGBT. We are the underground outfit, y'all. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yup, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
Y'all press one if y'all can hear me in the comments. Got a mic check. Press one if y'all can hear me. Got a mic check in the building right now. Y'all know how they be doing with the system in StreamYard, man. Something going on with the StreamYard stuff, man. I don't know what it is. But again, I've already notified them. I've sent them a message about this, a few of them. So hopefully they can get their situation fixed. But as I tell y'all, if the left one don't get you, if the left one don't get you, the right one will. If the left one do not get you, the right one will. See, everybody thought that when Diddy was found not guilty of sex trafficking and RICO, they thought, yeah, it's over with, man. Ain't nothing else to talk about here. All right. Well, remember how Diddy's first case started. Now, Diddy beat that case, so he can't restart. They cannot bring that case back with Cassie and Jane Doe and Mia. They can't bring that back with those three chicks, right? Can't do it. Now, guess what? Guess what? They can bring a different case if they have different evidence. Same charges. Meaning, if it's a whole different situation, meaning if it's a whole different person, whole different circumstances, right? Whole different evidence. They can use that because they use this in civils to create criminals. That's how they do. So now you got this dude that's looking like a young, he looking like a young, what's the dude's name on Baby Boy? Yeah, you know, the nigga that was up in the kitchen cooking breakfast. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know sometimes it might be crazy. I'll always be there for you, baby. Baby, I'm just trying to change the game. So let me work my thing. Let me do this thing. He's just a baby boy. You're not the real McCoy. I will run these streets. Oh yeah. He up there looking like a young ass Melvin. Bald head nigga named Melvin. But his name is Michael. Michael Ejawoko is his name. And he's suing Sean Diddy Combs. He's accusing Vista Properties, which is a New York corporation that operates the Palazzo, a luxury hotel and casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's also suing Wynn Resorts, which is a Nevada corporation that operates the Wynn, a luxury hotel and casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's also accusing the Northwood Investors, LLC, the London, which is a Colorado limited liability company that operates the London Hotel, a luxury hotel in Los Angeles, California, right? So collectively, they're known as the hotel defendants, and he's suing Sean Diddy Combs. And he's accusing Sean Diddy Combs in the hotels of sex trafficking, sexual battery, and civil conspiracy, right? Now, he's accusing them of the violation of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. Now, here's the problem Diddy got. Diddy's already a convicted felon. He's already a convicted felon. If he gets hit again, let's get into the allegations, right? So, according to his allegations, this is another chapter in his sad tale of sexual battery, sex trafficking, and civil conspiracy arising from lurid proclivities of disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Everybody in line, y'all. In or around 2018, this man first met Sean Combs. Mr. Combs hired him, who at all relevant times was a commercial sex worker. This man was led to believe that he was engaging in consensual sex work with adult women, including Cassie Ventura and Jane Doe, unaware that these women had been coerced or trafficked by Diddy. These services included, but were not limited to, oral copulation and physical penetration. This man provided these services twice in California and 3 times in Nevada. Diddy orchestrated and observed these encounters, never participating in the encounters himself, but deriving gratification from directing and watching others engage in acts that he choreographed. Diddy insisted that the plaintiff use body oil that Diddy personally supplied. This man is informed and believes that the baby oil or body oil was laced with GHB or similar drugs used to incapacitate both plaintiff and the female victims involved. This man never consented to being drugged or manipulated and would have never agreed to participate had he known the truth. These events always occurred in hotels owned and operated by hotel defendants, the Palazzo Casino Hotel, Wynn Casino Hotel in Las Vegas, and the London Hotel in Los Angeles. Hotel staff knowingly facilitated Diddy in his illicit activities by A, reserving rooms under aliases, including the name Mr. Star, to shield Combs' identity. B, granting access to private or secured areas to Diddy and his John Doe associates. C, escorting this man and other participants in the encounters to and from the rooms. D, cleaning and removing paraphernalia used in these encounters, including oils, substances, and drug-related items. E, failing to report or investigate clear signs of illegal conduct. On information and belief, hotel staff accepted direction from Diddy's entourage to prepare rooms for these encounters and conceal evidence afterwards, thereby actively enabling and protecting his conduct. Plaintiff is informed and believes that in at least one instance, Diddy paid $100,000 in cash to the hotel staff at the Intercontinental Los Angeles Century City, not a defendant in this action, but to suppress surveillance footage showing Diddy assaulting Cassie Ventura. Plaintiff did not learn of this payment until June the 3rd, 2025. This revelation establishes Diddy's pattern of practice of using money and prestige to make hotels do his bidding, and further confirmed to the plaintiff that his belief that the hotel defendants played a role knowingly enabling and concealing illegal acts herein alleged. Defendants, and each of them, filmed these encounters without the plaintiff's knowledge or consent. After Cassie and Jane Doe testified in Diddy's federal criminal trial, the plaintiff came to understand the coercive nature of the scheme and has since suffered profound humiliation, emotional trauma, and psychological distress. Now, here's the problem Diddy got before I go on. The problem Diddy has is, and I'm going to say this before I finish reading these allegations, is that now he has the men stacking up. See, even though that sex worker, right, that's what we call him because he was working for sex, Clayton Howard came out and destroyed Cassie, there's a reason why Sean Diddy Combs' legal team didn't put him on the stand. Because he implicated Diddy in sex trafficking too. That holds up to a life sentence, right? You said you hope Busby or Tyrone Blackburn is not his lawyer. First of all, why would you hope that Busby, who's out here winning all kind of lawsuits, wouldn't be your lawyer? I want Busby to be my lawyer. I'm not gonna lie to nobody. Busby just got between $15 and $33 million from Shannon Sharp, and I ain't saying against the brother. I'd have him be my lawyer because he wins cases. Look at the cases he's won against white folks. He just won a $640 million case against TNT Crane Company. This mofo's got the biggest collection in the United States. Y'all need to do y'all homework. So y'all just come on YouTube just talking shit. But no, this is not Tony Busby. This is a whole different lawyer. This is not Tyrone Blackburn. Right? But let me say this. The men are adding up because Clayton Howard said Diddy sex trafficked him, and he said that Diddy threatened him with a pistol during one of the encounters. And he had other allegations against Diddy that would have implicated Diddy. That's why Diddy's legal team didn't put him on the stand, even though he said all that stuff about Cassie. That's why neither side put him on the stand, because he held both sides on the hook. And now what's going to happen is potentially, if you have enough of these men that come out that accuse Diddy of sex trafficking them under false pretenses, which Clayton Howard has done, and now this man has done, and also the other dude who had his guts blown out, Pauls, he did. The other model actor who ain't got no teeth no more, that dude. See, what happens is that the feds, who we've already told y'all, we've heard that they're still working on bringing more charges against Diddy. You got to think, man, bro, they can F around and try to bring a whole new case against this dude based off the dudes. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you listen to the testimony of Clayton Howard, he says, hey, man, the men we the ones that was sex trafficked. Now, Clayton Howard said Diddy and Cassie sex trafficked him, right? This man says that Diddy sex trafficked him. So you're going to have, Diddy is not off the hook. This is the thing people got to understand. This man got men out here saying this now. See? But let's keep going. So, first cause of action, sexual battery. The plaintiff, the man on your screen, realleges, and incorporates the preceding paragraphs as if set forth fully herein. The plaintiff was subjected to sexual contact without full and informed consent, as his ability to consent was nullified by the administration of drugs and false pretenses. Defendant Combs uses money, status, and power to exert force and fear over the plaintiff and convince the plaintiff and the woman into demeaning sexual acts. Defendant Combs watched, recorded, and masturbated during the coercive sexual encounters. Defendant Combs caused and directed these actions and is liable for sexual battery. The hotel defendants, employees who facilitated these acts, were acting within the course and the scope of their employment. The hotel defendants are vicariously liable for their employer's negligence, reckless, or knowing facilitation of the unlawful acts by Combs. That's another place that they're going to be able to nail it. And I'm going to tell y'all this because some of those hotels are still open, and this is a problem that Diddy's going to have. If the feds go investigate and go talk to these hotels and hotel workers that are still open, remember the Continental was closed, but these other hotels are still open. If they can go pull up these other guys from these hotels, which is probably what they're doing, Diddy got some real shit. Because now what they can do is try to see if the hotels were complicit in helping set up this stuff. See, they didn't do that before. In the first trial, they didn't get anybody from the hotel to say, hey, look, we knew that they were setting up these freak-off events. Because check this out. If Diddy has to pay all this money on room repairs, and he's always going to the same place, right? What y'all think? You think the hotel staff don't know what's going on? They got $40,000, $10,000, $15,000 in repairs. You think they don't know what the hell going on in them rooms? They gotta know. If you're doing the same thing in these same rooms over and over and over and over and over again. The Intercontinental was closed. So that's different. These other hotels are open. They can go right in there, interview those people, and if they get any of these people to say, hey man, yeah, this was an organized situation. Now it's a whole different situation that you're looking at, right? Now let's keep going, right? So he says the hotel defendants ratified or approved the conduct of defendant Combs in committing the acts of sexual battery described herein. As a direct and proximate result of Diddy's conduct, of the defendant's conduct, each of them, the plaintiff has suffered and continues to suffer severe emotional distress, including profound humiliation, shame, degradation, anxiety, trauma-related symptoms, and psychological injury. Plaintiff has also experienced a loss of dignity, reputational harm, and ongoing mental anguish stemming from his eventual realization of the coercive and exploitative nature of the scheme in which he was unknowingly entangled. These injuries have caused lasting harm that interferes with the plaintiff's personal well-being, relationships, and quality of life. The plaintiff has incurred and will continue to incur mental health related expenses as a result of the defendant's conduct, and each of them, the plaintiff has been damaged and suffered damages in the amount in excess of $500,000. In subjecting the plaintiff to wrongful treatment herein described, defendants and each of them acted willfully and maliciously to harm the plaintiff and consciously disregard the plaintiff's rights, which constitutes malice and oppression. Therefore, the plaintiff is entitled to the recovery of the punitive damages against the defendants and each of them in a sum to be shown according to proof. Civil conspiracy. The plaintiff realleges and incorporates the preceding paragraphs as if set forth fully herein. The defendants, each of them, were co-conspirators who agreed and acted in concert to facilitate the coerced sexual encounters involving the plaintiff and others. Defendant committed overt acts in furtherance of the conspiracy. Right? Beginning in or around 2018, the hotel defendants, through their employees and agents, entered into an agreement with the defendant Combs to facilitate his illicit sexual exploitation schemes in hotel premises. Their objective was to knowingly support and conceal Mr. Combs' coercive and drug-facilitated sexual encounters, including those involving the plaintiff. On multiple occasions, when the plaintiff was brought to hotel rooms to engage in sexual encounters directed by Diddy, the hotel defendants knowingly reserved these rooms under aliases, most notably Mr. Starr, in order to conceal Mr. Combs' identity and protect his privacy and public image. See, we didn't even know that. We didn't hear about rooms being held under the name Mr. Starr. This is a whole different case right here, right? Because now this is a whole different angle. This is the men that's coming out here making these allegations against Diddy now. So this is a whole different situation, right? Now let's keep going. On multiple occasions, when the plaintiff was brought to hotel rooms to engage in sexual encounters directed by Mr. Combs, the hotel defendants knowingly reserved these rooms under aliases, most notably Mr. Starr, in order to conceal Diddy's identity and protect his privacy and public image. The hotel defendants acted through staff and management intentionally used aliases to book rooms for Mr. Starr for similar pseudonyms. Granted Diddy and the plaintiff access to secured or restricted floors. Now, see, here's the thing. When you say secured or restricted floors, same thing that happened in that videotape with Cassie. Nobody talked about that. Nobody talked about how nobody was in that hall, how Diddy had that whole hall reserved. He's going to say, and this is the problem, the Intercontinental was closed, so that helped that case. These other hotels are open. If this man can prove that other hotels conspired to close a whole hallway to facilitate freak-offs in which they say illegal activity happened, they can put Diddy back in that motherfucking on trial again. This is the part people don't understand. I told y'all this. When the feds really want you, you ain't gonna beat you might beat the first case like John Gotti, but then comes the second one, then comes the third one, then comes the fourth one, and they keep going until they get you. Y'all think everybody thought that this shit is over. When niggas beg for mercy, that's when the beef is over. You understand what I'm saying? That's when the beef is over. So y'all gotta realize this. You understand? Something is cooking. Something is cooking. So everybody thinks, oh yeah, Diddy won, it's over with. You niggas crazy? Y'all don't know some of the biggest mobsters and how the feds work. The feds keep coming until they get your ass locked down for life. That's how they work. Study federal cases. This is not hate. This is not me wishing nothing negative. No, I'm telling you what the real is. When the feds want you, they don't stop until they get you, nigga. Look at history. You don't have to look at me. Look at history. Let's keep going, right? But him pointing that out, very interesting. Because even in that hotel video, when Diddy and Cassie got into it, and he was throwing all that shit, not one person came out in that hallway. They allegedly had that entire hallway reserved. Think about what I just said to y'all. So if this man can say, hey, the hotel was complicit, they knew it was freak-offs going on, and they helped him set it up, and those hotels are still open, and they can go back and do investigations and employees who was there or who may still be there, man, it's going to get real funky. You never know what the feds are up to now, right? Anyways, he says it was shielded. They shielded Diddy from detection by other guests and hotel security. Allowed Diddy's personal assistants and entourage to supply and clean up paraphernalia such as oils, candles, Astroglide, and other materials for the encounters, right? Hotel staff routinely cleaned up evidence, including bottles, powders, and other signs of drug use to maintain secrecy and protect Diddy's reputation. They acted to preserve his image by eliminating traces of wrongdoing from hotel records and physical premises, right? In at least one known instance, to the plaintiff, Combs bribed the hotel personnel at the Intercontinental in Los Angeles with a $100,000 cash payment to prevent the release of surveillance footage showing him beating on Cassie Ventura, right? The existence of this payment arrangement reinforces hotel's awareness and willingness to facilitate and conceal Diddy's misconduct. Plaintiff did not learn of these payments, aliases, or full extent of the hotel's concealment practices until Diddy federal criminal trial in May of June 2025. Upon learning this, the plaintiff understood that the hotel defendants had knowingly participated in an enterprise designed to facilitate non-consensual, coerced, and drug-involved sexual acts orchestrated by Diddy. By continuing to reserve rooms under aliases, provide no questions asked accommodations, allowing escorts and access to and facilitate cleanups efforts, the hotel defendants substantially assisted Diddy in carrying out this illegal conduct and enabled the continuation and expansion of the conspiracy. These coordinated actions constitute a conspiracy to engage in an unlawful and harmful acts, to wit, sex trafficking and sexual battery, right? As a direct and proximate result of the defendant's conduct in each of them, the plaintiff has suffered and continues to suffer severe emotional distress, including profound humiliation, shame, degradation. Y'all already heard all of this. Now let's go into the sex trafficking, right? The Trafficking Victims Protection Act, the TVPA, prohibits knowingly recruiting, enticing, harboring, transporting, providing, obtaining, advertising, maintaining, patronizing, or soliciting a person by means of force, threats of force, fraud, coercion, or any other combination thereof for the purpose of causing that person to engage in a commercial sex act. Defendant Combs knowingly recruited, enticed, and maintained the plaintiff through a scheme involving coercion, manipulation, and the administration of drugs without consent, all for the purpose of facilitating commercial sex acts from which Combs derived personal gratification and benefit. Combs, acting in concert with hotel personnel and other associates, orchestrated repeated encounters under false pretenses using aliases, controlled environments, and drug-laced products to remove the agency of plaintiff and others. Plaintiff is a victim of trafficking within the meaning of the TVPA and is entitled to bring a civil action under 18 U.S.C. 1595 against both the primary violators and those who knowingly benefited from the participation in the venue. The hotel defendants knowingly benefited from their involvement in this venture by receiving financial compensation from Diddy and his associates while facilitating this trafficking scheme. As a direct and proximate, and let me say this again, as a direct and proximate result of the defendant's conduct, each of them, the plaintiff, has suffered and continues to suffer all that stress he said he suffered, right? And so his attorney, his name is Salazar Evans, LLP, right? Yeah, man, this is one of them situations right here, bro. Diddy got one on him because now you got these men coming out saying, yo, he did that to us. See, it's one thing when it's just a woman. See what I'm saying? Again, it's one thing when it's just a woman. But then when it's the man, that's when it get real funky when it's the man. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to say it again to y'all. When it's the man, that's when it get real diabolical, when it's the man, right? So you had, and I'm going to say it again, you had Diddy do what, right? Beat the case with the woman. Now you got all these men saying this. And the same dude who was cooking Cassie said Diddy sex trafficked him too. He's suing Diddy too, said Diddy sex trafficked him. Now Diddy has already got priors. If they take Diddy back again, he get found guilty on another felony. I'm telling y'all. Right? I'm telling y'all what it is. So everybody can see what's going on. Clear as day. It's clear as day what's going on. Right? You all, like I said, can see it. It's in front of the world. And this is the situation that's going on, ladies and gentlemen. You know. And so, right? Hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second, you guys. So, yeah, man. That's basically the gist of this situation, man. Diddy is up against it. Point blank, period. And I feel like it's been quiet for a reason for the last couple of weeks. And I've always tell y'all, man, when the feds got a hard on for you, they're not finna play no games with you, man. When the feds got a hard on for you. You guys, y'all definitely let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all feel. Right? Like, share, subscribe. So to everybody that's tapped on in. So now you have, you know what I'm saying, this man right here, you know what I'm saying, coming with these allegations against Diddy. Sex trafficking, conspiracy, and other things in the hotels. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Peace.
Hey, I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, supporting the network. Like, share, and subscribe once again. There are links. Get the free membership on our website. That way you guys won't miss any of our news update stories or videos. They're all on the website, ticketvmedia.com. You go over there, you can go right to the members part and become a free member. That way you guys will get all the updates. Also, straight drought weight loss formula. Make sure y'all go tap in and copy some of that, as well as subscribing to our podcast show. Link will be pinned at the top of the chat down there below. And also, we just appreciate all y'all who support the channel. Cash App, PayPal.